Hi everyone, I'm David Aragona, and I'm going to take a look at my TimeformUS Highlight Horse on Thursday's card at Aqueduct. It's in the 6th race, nominators 1 allowance race for the New York breds, going the flat mile around 1 turn. And let's take a look at the TimeformUS preview screen to start, and you'll see the number 7, the Great Johanna, is the favorite on the morning line. No surprise there at 8-5. She's looking for her 3rd victory in a row. She's won 2 starts coming into this, so she figures to attract plenty of support. The number 5, Paid with Gold, also likely to take some money in this race, so we'll see how the public bets it. But before we get to the main contenders, let's look at the TimeformUS pace projector, because you see that gray bar situation, and that indicates a no speed scenario. Now that gets flagged when there's just no front runners in this race, and that seems to be the case because the number 5, Paved with Gold, who's predicted to be on the early lead, she's a stalking type, not really a front runner. The same goes for the number 7, the Great Johanna, the horse that's predicted to be in closest attendance to her. She's won her last 2 races from just off the pace, not really showing initiative to take the early lead. So we'll see if one of those two is on the lead here and how they'll react to that. That no speed indicator doesn't necessarily say that either of these horses have an advantage, just saying that none of these horses have shown the ability to race on the lead successfully. So we'll see how they all adjust to it on this day. Let's head over to the Great Johanna's PPs and see how she's coming into this race, because she does seem like the legitimate horse to beat. I think her connections were pretty smart last time to take advantage of that starter allowance condition, because she had broken her maiden 2 back, and rather than stepping immediately up to this nominators of 1 allowance race for which she's competing today, they took that detour to the starter allowance race last time because she had raced for a claiming tag and maiden claiming company in the past, and she ran well. She was even money that day. She maybe had to work a little bit harder than expected to win that race, but she nevertheless earned a 97 TimeformUS speed figure, essentially repeating the number that she earned when she broke her maiden by 7 lengths in her prior start. Another repeat of that kind of figure is just going to make her pretty tough. I like her outside post position on that pace projector. Doesn't really figure to hurt her because she does have that tactical speed that I mentioned at the top. So I'm definitely using her, and I certainly prefer her to the number 5, Paved with Gold, the other horse likely to take money in this race. Some will see that 102 TimeformUS speed figure that she earned last time and like her off of that, but let's remember that was a turf race, and something that we've seen a lot of recently at Aqueduct is horses taking money off of superior turf form. They're not really translating that turf form to the dirt. And while Paved with Gold does have competitive dirt races in the past, her dirt form prior to switching back to turf last time had really tailed off. And her TimeformUS speed figures in the low 90s and mid 80s that she had coming into that turf race last time don't really make her a top contender in this race. So maybe the pace advantage helps her out, but I don't like her switching back to dirt here. My top pick in my TimeformUS Highlight Horse is the number 4, Impossible. She is the most lightly raced member of this field, and I think she also has the most upside coming into this race. She was green in her debut 2 back, thought the 6 furlongs that day was maybe a bit too short for her, also had to deal with kickback, but she finished up strongly. Last time she moved up and won with a 91 TimeformUS speed figure, and we can actually take a look at the replay of that race, the stretch run. I thought Eric Consell did a good job this day to keep her closer to the pace than he had in her debut. And she was really in striking distance by the time they got to the quarter pole, and she was just able to finish off this race strongly and run down the distance challenge leader Dahl, who does have some quality for Jason Service, but I like the way she's finishing up. I don't anticipate that she's a horse that's going to have a big problem making that stretch out to the mile, because when you look at her pedigree, she's certainly bred to do it on the dam side. Her dam True Legend was a winner going this 1 mile distance on the dirt, and her dam is also a half-sister to Royal Posse, who was a New York bred millionaire who won a bunch of stakes races going a mile and an 8th on the dirt. He really wanted to run all day. I think he even contested some marathon races at some point in his career. So Impossible does have a lot of stamina foundation on the dam side. And furthermore, Kelly Breen, her trainer, has pretty good numbers off of maiden wins. If you look in DRFTV just over the past year, on the dirt with last out maiden winners, he's 5 for 8. That's 63% with an ROI around $5. Just looking at the past 2 years, he's 8 for 20, winning at 40% with another high ROI. So he's done this well over the past couple of seasons, and I think he might be able to add another winner with Impossible in Thursday's 6th race at Aqueduct.